The city buzzed, a symphony of car horns, chattering voices, and the relentless hum of modern life. It was a vibrant, chaotic energy that pulsed through the streets, a constant reminder of the world's relentless motion. But for Leo, it was just background noise, a dull roar that faded into insignificance against the quiet storm brewing within him. He felt disconnected, adrift in a sea of faces, each one seemingly more purposeful than his own. Each day, the alarm clock signaled another round, a jarring wake-up call to a life that felt increasingly like a pre-scripted performance. The insistent ringing was a reminder of the obligations and expectations that weighed heavily on his shoulders. In a gray cubicle, a small confined space that mirrored the limitations he felt in his own life. The walls seemed to close in on him, suffocating his spirit and stifling any sense of creativity or passion. Staring at a screen filled with tasks that meant nothing to him, spreadsheets, reports, and endless emails blurred together into a meaningless jumble, a constant reminder of the disconnect between his work and his true calling. He had a good job, the kind that impressed people at parties and provided a comfortable living. It was a symbol of success, a validation of his hard work and dedication. A nice apartment, tastefully decorated and filled with all the modern conveniences. It was a sanctuary, a place to retreat from the world and recharge, and a routine that looked perfect from the outside. A carefully curated image of success and stability, a life that many would envy. But inside, Leo felt empty, a void that no amount of material possessions or external validation could fill. It was a deep, gnawing sense of dissatisfaction, a feeling that something essential was missing from his life. Exhausted in a way sleep couldn't fix. It was a weariness of the soul, a depletion of the spirit that no amount of rest could replenish. He watched clouds drift by, their shapes constantly shifting and changing, a reminder of the endless possibilities that life had to offer, envying their freedom, their ability to roam and explore without constraint. He longed for that same sense of liberation, that same feeling of being unburdened by responsibility. While his own life felt rigid and colorless, confined by the boundaries of his own making, the world around him seemed to be bursting with vibrancy, but his own existence felt muted and dull. The spark in his eyes had faded, the light that once shone so brightly had dimmed to a flicker. Laughter was rare, replaced by a quiet melancholy that clung to him like a shadow. The joy had been replaced by a sense of resignation, a feeling that he was simply going through the motions. He remembered when he used to paint and hike, immersing himself in the beauty of the world and expressing his creativity through art, feeling alive and curious, eager to explore the unknown and embrace new experiences. He was once full of life, driven by a thirst for adventure and a passion for discovery. Now he was a ghost in his own life, a mere shadow of the person he once was. He felt disconnected from his own body, as if he were watching his life unfold from a distance, stuck in a cycle of work, eat, sleep, repeat, a monotonous loop that offered no fulfillment or satisfaction. The emptiness was a silent ache, a constant reminder of the life he wasn't living, a longing for something real, something authentic, something that resonated with his soul. He realized he was climbing a ladder, striving for success and recognition in a world that didn't truly value what he had to offer. Without knowing if it was against the right wall, pursuing a path that may not lead to true happiness or fulfillment, Leo knew something had to change. He couldn't continue living this way, trapped in a life that felt so utterly meaningless. But he had no idea where to begin, how to break free from the chains of his own making and rediscover the spark that had been extinguished. One weekend, desperate for escape, Leo visited a tranquil Japanese garden. The peace there was immediate, a breath of fresh air. By a koi pond, he noticed an elderly man, Mr. Tanaka, tending moss with quiet focus. Mr. Tanaka's calm presence drew Leo in. After a silent moment, Mr. Tanaka invited Leo to sit. He spoke of Ikigai, a reason to get up each morning found in small joys and a sense of purpose. Everyone has an Ikigai, he said, but sometimes we lose sight of it. He drew 4 overlapping circles in the sand. At their intersection, he explained, lies your Ikigai, your reason for being. Ikigai isn't a destination, but a journey of self-discovery. For the first time in years, Leo felt a flicker of hope. The idea was simple, but it lit a new path forward. Leo listened, captivated, as Mr. Tanaka's words began to shift something inside him. Mr. Tanaka, with a gentle smile, pointed to the first circle on the diagram. It was a simple circle, yet it held a profound question. What do you love? He asked, his voice soft but firm. What truly ignites your soul? What makes you feel alive and connected to the world around you? This is about passion, the very essence of what drives you, what fuels your creativity, and what gives your life meaning. It's about those activities that make time disappear, those moments when you're so engrossed in what you're doing that the world fades away, and your heart sings with pure, unadulterated joy. He urged Leo to cast his mind back to remember what he loved as a child, before the weight of the world settled upon his shoulders. Before life got in the way, before responsibilities and expectations clouded his vision. Leo began to search his memories, and he recalled painting for hours as a boy, completely lost in a world of color and creation, his imagination running wild. And he remembered hiking through the woods feeling truly alive and connected to the raw beauty of nature. These were the things he'd gradually abandoned, trading them in for what he perceived as practicality and necessity. Mr. Tanaka explained that modern life often has a way of burying our passions, layer upon layer until they become almost unrecognizable. But Ikigai, he emphasized, starts with reclaiming them, with dusting off those forgotten dreams and giving them space to breathe once more. It's not about being the best in the world, or winning accolades, but about cultivating personal joy, about finding activities that resonate with your soul and bring a smile to your face. Whether it's gardening, playing music, writing poetry, or anything else that brings you alive and makes you feel truly yourself. He encouraged Leo to take out a notepad and make a list without judgment or self-criticism of all the things he truly loved, no matter how big or small. Listen to your heart, he said with a knowing glance. That's where you'll find the first crucial piece of your Ikigai puzzle, waiting to be discovered. For Leo, sitting there in the quiet of the garden, this simple question was a profound revelation. He realized, with a sense of liberation, that he could give himself permission to love what he loved without apology or justification. The first circle, the circle of what you love, was about rediscovering the simple joys that had been lost along the way. It was the beginning of a journey of self-discovery, a journey of coming home to himself, to the person he was always meant to be. Mr. Tanaka moved to the second circle. What are you good at? This is about your skills and talents, what comes naturally or what you've honed over time. Leo thought of his job skills, but they felt empty. Mr. Tanaka encouraged him to look deeper. Are you a good listener? A planner? Do you notice details others miss? Leo realized he was a natural organizer and patient, methodical in his approach, skills he'd used in painting and planning trips. These weren't on his resume, but they were real strengths. Mr. Tanaka explained that knowing your talents builds confidence and makes the journey possible. Your talents are your contribution to the world. The key is to find the skills you enjoy using. When passion and skill overlap, you unlock a powerful combination. Leo saw that his strengths could be used in new, meaningful ways. The second circle was about recognizing and valuing his unique gifts. It was another step toward his Ikigai. Mr. Tanaka, with a thoughtful expression, carefully drew the third circle on his notepad. It was a deliberate act, each stroke of the pen imbued with meaning. He paused, considering the weight of the question he was about to pose. What does the world need? It's a question that echoes through time, a query that philosophers, leaders, and everyday individuals have pondered for centuries. This question shifts focus outward, away from the self, away from immediate concerns. It encourages us to look beyond our own needs and desires, to community and connection. It prompts us to consider our role within the larger tapestry of society, fostering a sense of belonging and shared responsibility. Leo felt overwhelmed by the world's problems, a feeling that's all too common in today's complex world. The sheer scale of global challenges can be paralyzing. But Mr. Tanaka reassured him, offering a perspective that was both grounding and empowering. Your world can be as small as your neighborhood, he said, emphasizing the power of local action and the importance of starting where you are, or as broad as you wish. The scope of your impact is limited only by your own vision and willingness to act. Needs aren't always grand. They don't always require sweeping gestures or monumental efforts. They can be for beauty, a simple appreciation for the aesthetic qualities that enrich our lives. Kindness, a willingness to extend compassion and empathy to those around us, or connection. The fundamental human need to feel seen, heard, and understood. Leo noticed people around him were stressed, burdened by the pressures of daily life, lonely, yearning for meaningful interaction and a sense of belonging, or lacking creative outlets, a void that can stifle the spirit and diminish overall well-being. Mr. Tanaka shared a story. a gentle reminder that even the smallest contributions can have a profound impact. Of a woman whose Ikigai was making tofu for her village, a simple act of service that nourished both body and soul. Small, but vital, a cornerstone of community well-being. Leo realized he could contribute, that he possessed unique skills and talents that could be used to make a positive difference. By sharing his planning skills, helping others organize their lives and achieve their goals. Or teaching art, fostering creativity and self-expression in others. The world needs more than just business reports. It needs more than just profit margins and bottom lines. It needs joy and creativity. It needs the spark of imagination and the freedom to express oneself. Finding what the world needs, identifying that area where your passions and skills intersect with the needs of others, gives your energy, direction, and meaning. It transforms your efforts from mere tasks into a purposeful mission. It's about making a difference, contributing to something larger than yourself, no matter the scale. Every act of kindness, every creative endeavor, every effort to connect with others, contributes to a more vibrant and compassionate world. Leo saw opportunities to help everywhere. He began to notice the subtle needs of those around him, the unspoken desires for connection and support. The third circle was about connecting his life, his passions and his skills, to something larger, to a purpose that resonated deeply within him. It gave his journey a sense of purpose, transforming his daily actions into meaningful contributions. The path forward was becoming clearer, illuminated by the understanding that his Ikigai lay in serving the needs of the world around him. Mr. Tanaka pointed to the fourth circle. What can you be paid for? This is about practicality. Sustaining yourself while living your purpose. Leo's job paid well but left him drained. Mr. Tanaka explained the goal is to align your work with your passions, talents, and the world's needs. Sometimes this means weaving Ikigai into your career, or using your job to support your true calling outside of work. It doesn't have to be a perfect job. Side projects or gradual shifts can bridge the gap. For Leo, it meant exploring ways to bring creativity into his life and work, maybe selling art, teaching, or finding a more creative role. The fourth circle was about making purpose sustainable. It required creativity and patience. Leo saw he didn't have to change everything overnight, just start building a bridge. With the four circles drawn, Mr. Tanaka showed Leo the center, Ikigai. It's where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for all meet. Ikigai isn't just a job or a hobby, it's a way of living with passion, meaning, and balance. Leo saw how his love for painting, his skills, and the world's need for creativity could fit together. Finding Ikigai is a process, not a one-time discovery. Start small, Mr. Tanaka advised. Add something you love to your week, use a talent to help someone. Each step brings you closer to your center. Leo felt the weight of being lost begin to lift. He realized burnout came from working against his nature. Ikigai became his compass, guiding choices big and small. The journey would take time, but now he knew which way to go. The pieces of his life could finally fit together. Leo was ready to begin. Leo left the garden changed. He didn't quit his job, but he made a small change. He bought paints and started painting again. That simple act brought forgotten joy. Guided by the four circles, he began reshaping his life. He took a painting class, volunteered to teach art, and found new energy. His day job provided stability, while his passions brought fulfillment. He even brought creativity into his workplace, organizing team workshops. Leo was no longer a ghost. He was the artist of his own life. Ikigai's secret is its simplicity. Anyone can start with one small step. Look inward with honesty, outward with compassion, and draw your own circles. A life of purpose and joy is waiting to be discovered within you.